An. I worked really hard on this story, people, so I hope you like it. I'm thinking of maybe after I'm done sending it to Naughty Dog so they can be inspired, lol, get it, like Spyro the Dragon, to make a new Crash game, and maybe they can use my caricature. I don't think the Crash universe has enough girls, so I think Lacey would be great. I've tried not to make her a Mary Sue, but please let me know what you think of the story, but be nice.
Thanks to my cousin for checking my fic for spelling mistakes. I'm not very good at English, but that didn't stop J.K. Rowling, lol, burn, xxx.
Oh, God, that is burn. It was a cold but really nice day in December in Australia. Wait, in December in Australia it's summer. Where Crash and his friends lived. There was lots of snow about and Polar was leaping around all happy. Cortex and his team even took a Christmas holiday. They were on a fishing trip to catch food for Xmas Diner, so you could see their little boat out to sea. Tropy had on his ice skates as the water was frozen and he was doing his little dance routine till suddenly he ran over something. There was lots of blood and Tropy stopped with his heart in his throat because he thogged. He killed a person and out of all the doctors he's probably the nicest. He picked up one half of the thing he ran over. It was a raccoon legs and tail.
Hey, guys! Screamed Tropy. What?
Said Brio.
We are getting hungry. It's time we had food now.
He drank a potion to calm down.
So Brio took out a box of worm sandwiches, or whatever evil scientists eat, and Tropy stopped to eat one and really liked it as Brio was a damn fine cook, but after he finished and swallowed he said, "Look! I ran over this raccoon!" "I dunno, I'd prefer turkey,"
said Engine.
"Oh, give me that!"
said Cortex.
"I could do with something like that for my new experiment. Can you find the other half, please, Tropy?"
He was all grabby hands.
"What, do I look like your slave?"
Tropy grimbled. But anyway, Tropy picked up a raccoon head and some other bits not too far away. It was very pretty.
"Oh,"
said Tropy.
"If you don't survive, I will stuff the head and put it on the wall."
Later! They then arrived back at Cortex's castle, and Cortex put the bits of the raccoon into his new machine. This is called the Awesomatron. It makes animals come back to life, so then Cortex can do more stuff with them. Tropy was a bit grumpy because he wanted the head on the wall, but even he was curious as to what could happen. Then, suddenly,
Crash Bandicoot come through the window and hit Cortex, and then Aquaku come in and said, "Everyone destroy the Cortex castle's machine commits unspeakable evil." The hell? The machine was about to beep with their raccoon coming back to life, but Crash spinned it and then a human woman fell in from one of Cortex's cages. And then the machine buzzed and rocketed around while the woman screamed like something out of Final Destination. A.N. I love that film. I hope I die interestingly one day. God, that's kind of twisted. Coco Bandicoot gasped and leapt behind her brother to hide. Then the raccoon flew out and put back together, but pale and gothic looking with some human looking features.
She was really pale and a bit moth-eaten because she had been dead. There were some stitches round her ankles and wrists and neck where Cortex had sewn her back up for the Makihin. She had on this really nice long dress with cleavage, kind of like the one Misa Amane wears in Death Note, and had pierced ears and black hair with some silver streaks because she inherited it from her raccoonus. Her tail was kind of silver and black too, but faded to dark purple. She opened her eyes. They were bright and gold and stood up on two legs.
God, that's like a really bad fan fiction character. Oh wait, it is!
What has happened?
she said in a kind of British accent. Oh, OMG, your machine works, said N. Finn to Cortex. Okay, let me try this again, because it's obviously not engine, is it? It's like,
It's
OMG, the machine works, said N. Finn to Cortex, who was all agape.
Let's go,
said Coco, and she tried to take hold of the raccoon woman's hand, but the raccoon refused and leapt out of the window, leaving a trail of black glitter behind and a note thing of her face like Sky Cooper does when he steals something.
End of chapter 1. I hope you like it. There will be more soon.
Oh, please.
Oh, so far there are 4 chapters of this thing. Chapter 2. A.N. Well, guys, I couldn't wait. So I wrote some more.
Yay.
Thanks again to my cousin who read, the colour red, the first bit of it and helped me with spelling and stuff.
I suppose he could have died from all the blood was the red stuff.
Well, the red was the red pen marking all the mistakes in this thing.
Or the red blood.
Yes. But then she had to go to somewhere, so maybe she can read rest when she gets back. Hint.
Winky face.
Chapter 2. Tilt. So Cortex and the others had a cup of tea and a chat.
OMG, Cortex, I can't believe your machine worked,
said Engine again.
I know it's great,
said Cortex.
I now have a new plan to put into action. What?
said Tropy, who was eating biscuits and still wanting a stuffed heed for his wall.
I'll read that again. What?
said Tropy, who was eating biscuits and still wanting a stuffed heed for his wall.
I'm gonna capture lots of humans and lots of animals and chop them up and put bits into the machine to make furries just like that one.
Laughed Cortex, who sounded like Engine.
Well, I don't know, it's Cortex, did I? Let's do that again.
Oh.
I'm going to capture lots of humans and lots of animals and chop them up and put bits into the machine to make furries, just like that one.
Logged Cortex.
Lots of peoples like furies, so I will sell them and be rich and take over the world. Wow, that's... Okay, let's do that. Wow, that's a fucking great idea,
said Uka. A.N. He's really bad, so he swears, ok.
Okay. But first, we have to mix the machine,
said Tropy.
It might have created a furry, and it broke the machine, so we would have to change it a bit. Okay,
said Cortex grumpily and got up to go get more cake from the kitchen.
What should we do about the raccoon girl?
said Engine, spraying crumbs all over Uka.
Go and get her!
Cortex bellowed.
That's another instance where I think we need a new voice for this. Go and get her!
Cortex bellowed.
I want her for myself.
At the Bandicoot house.
The raccoon landed outside and the bandicoots and Aku catch up to her.
Hey!
said Coco.
Do you want to come in for a talk? Okay,
said the raccoon, but didn't meet Coco's eye. She was too busy taking in her surroundings. Coco unlocked the door and everyone came in. Crash got out some bottles of pop, and then Aku said, "What is your name, my child?"
I don't have a name,
said the raccoon girl, and a lone tear of blood rolled down her face.
She's gonna have to give that tear back because it's the other kind of loan.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I know, fool,
said Crunch, who came out of nowhere.
I shall call you Lacey. Okay. Lacey looked at Crunch and his muscles, and her humanish body kinda went all hot and sweety.
Why Lacey?
She asked. Because of your dress, Crunch laughed.
Oh, I see.
Lacey smiled and took a sip of her pop. It tasted like Wampa.
I like the name Lacey.
Good, said Crunch. Maybe we can all go out surfing in a bit.
Crunch,
said Coco in a boring voice.
Oh, okay, I'll redo that. Crunch.
Said Coco in a boring voice.
I don't think that Lacey should go out just yet. She's only just been made and those stitches need to heal.
She pointed at Lacey's wrists and ankles and neck. Said Crash.
She'll be alright! Yahoo!
Oh, God. So after they finished their pop and had some strawberry and lettuce sandwiches...
God, that sounds awful.
They headed out to the sea.
Back at Cortex Castle.
Oh, jeez. Cortex and the others prepared their flying machine and took off. Brio was dangling off a wire from the blimp, ready to grab Lacey as she surfed on the sea, but Lacey managed to dodge Brio's grabby hands and avoided Cortex's gun. Aku Aku concentrated on Crash and Coco and Crunch back into the house, while Lacey grabbed coconuts and chucked them at Brio. He fell off. La! Brio, I'm coming! Said Cortex. Oh dear. He leapt off the blimp and landed into the sea and swam around getting Brio, who couldn't swim and he was nearly drowning. Tropy took advantage of all this hubbub and jumped off the blimp and squished Lacey with his clock. I reiterate, clock. I've got you now, you ridiculous little vermin, said Tropy as he handcuffed Lacey and took her out on the blimp. Inside the house, Coco and Crash wept as they watched their new friend being taken away.
Why didn't they get her in the house then?
Oh, God knows.
Oh, hang on, I need to move a bit.
End of chapter 2. I'm really proud of this, guys. Please R&R. There is a lot of more plot twists to come.
Oh, God. Chapter 3. So Lacey was taken back to the blimp. Tropy. Oh, God, I just dribbled. Blech. Tropy was laughing all evilly. And Lacey tried to kick him in the groin, but he cocked her. Oh, sorry, I'll say that again. And Lacey tried to kick him in the groin, but he cocked her.
I like being cocked.
Yeah, me too. Oh, wait.
You got her!
Screamed Engine, who was on the blimp with a very wet Brio and Cortex.
Yes,
said Tropy.
I have her, and she will be Cortex's bride. Let's get her a dress, and you, Embryo, you can make the wedding buffet. Maybe she can borrow one of your dresses, Engine. Yay,
said Embryo, who really liked to cook. Said Engine, who was shotter and fatter than her. Lacey took a good look at the one they called Cortex. He was a bit old and he had a really big head and stuff, but maybe he would love her. As a raccoon, nobody loved her because she was just too pretty.
Oh, what?
So maybe now her life would improve. But she really loved Crunch too. Even though she didn't really get to know him, there was something about the way he made her feel.
Oh, God. Come on,
said Engine, pulling on Lacey's tail.
Let's find you a dress then.
Ugh, said Lacey. Can I get to know my new groom first?
I suppose,
said Cortex, who in all honesty wanted to go and do some more sciencey stuff, but guessed that if he wanted to sleep with this hot girl and marry her, then they might as well talk.
Oh, God. Later, want to ask me any questions? I suppose you can,
said Cortex tiredly. Sure,
said Lacey. She then saw a big green tree in the middle of the room, and it had lighters and on it decorations in the shape of the N team's heads. Huh. And I want them for my Christmas tree. And also some chockies and candies.
Why is there a tree in the blimp, and why does it look like that? Said
Lacey. Have you heard of Christmas?
Said Cortex, gesturing to the blimp's massive tree. No,
said Lacey.
What is it?
It's basically a time for people to give presents to each other,
said Cortex. Really? What kind of presents?
Shed Lacey. Yep, that is Shed Lacey indeed.
Shed.
Well, like chocolates and socks and scarves and stuff,
said Cortex frustratedly.
Don't raccoons do that sort of thing?
No, lol, we're raccoons, and anyway, my family hates me,
said Lacey and wept tears down her fake. Some of them splashed onto her cleavage. Great. And Cortex noticed sexily. Oh. But Cortex then legit felt bad for her because his own family had hatted him. Oh no, he said softly.
Yeah.
Said Lacey, drying her tears.
But maybe I can celebrate Christmas with you.
Sure,
said Cortex.
You know what? Let's make this the G-damn best Christmas ever. They got off... Jeez. They got off the blimp and into the castle. Lacey had only just sat down when Engine then ran in from the blimp with a dress and ejaculated. I think this will fit you. It was a gothic Lolita dress from Japan, like in Death Note and Rosen Maiden-ish. Engine had nicked it from the tourist, but he couldn't fit it in because he was a man, lol. Lacey got undressed and put it on. She didn't get the concept of being naked, so Cortex and Engine got really flustered, and she didn't know why, but she put the dress on and it was really pretty. Oh, it suits you,
said Cortex.
I'm happy to have you be my wife. I wonder what Embryo is doing.
So they went down a secret passageway to the kitchen where there was a big smell.
Entropy watched jealously from the door. He didn't think it before. This raccoon girl was really quite charming, he thought to himself.
Oh, God. Back at the Bandicoot hose. We have to get Lacey back! Screamed
Coco while drinking her cocoa.
Whoa, so she's drinking herself.
Yeah!
Said Crunch, who was trying to think of a plan. Crash slept on the floor fitfully. Aku Aku floated about, protecting the house from Cortex. I know! Said Coco. If I get my computer, I can try and hack into Cortex's computer and see what he's doing.
She got her laptop and did some stuff. Then she came across Cortex's internet history. Amongst all the porn, an occasional evil science test forum, and crashed PlayStation walkthrough.
Ooh, what? Meta.
She found her stuff for her weddings. What is Cortex looking at weddings for?
Crunch laughed.
He is still a virginal.
Said Aku Aku.
Well, Tropy took Lacey, maybe Cortex's best man, and he is planning a wedding for them.
Gasp! Said everyone. But no, Cortex can't marry Tropy and Lacey because they're a different species, said
Coco. Do you think that stopped Engine fancying you?
Said Crunch, grinning. Coco groaned. And Crunch laughed. Ha!
So what did we do?
Said Aku Aku.
Last time worked, should we just crash in? Yeah!
Said Crunch.
We'll crash in and get Lacey.
They had dinner first and waited until nightfall, and then started to put their plan into action.
Great plan, guys.
End of chapter 3.
Oh God, another chapter.
Chapter 4.
Cortex Castle. Well,
said Cortex after their dinner.
Why, wait. Brewer has made the buffet and you have a dress. Let's get married tomorrow.
Okay,
said Lacey, who was picking her teeth with a boner. Grr.
Said Trophy, who was washing up in the other room. Why should Cortex get all the fun? He wanted some sexy times with a cute raccoon thing too, so Trophy is a zoophile thing. He went into Cortex's lab while the happy couple were talking in the living chambers and got a raccoon out of a cage and another human tribals person out of her cage and put them in the machine.
Oh dear. What Trope didn't know was that the machine was still balked. The machine trembled and rattled and Tropy went to get a cup of tea while it did its work.
What's the obsession with tea?
I don't know. The machine then roared and spat out the creation thing, which landed in the kitchen at Tropy's feet. The machine then, because it was broken, itself set on fire. Troopy creamed and threw it out the window, and it landed on Coco and Crash, who were climbing the walls to crash in Cortex Castle. They screamed loudly. and was crushed by the machine on fire. Aquaku tried to get them, but it was too late. Oh no.
Tropy looked round and found the creaton on the floor of the kitchen. Unfortunately, it had become a human with a raccoon body, not the other way round. Tropy gasped in horror at the human face on a raccoon body, and the thing snarled and snapped at his ankles and then scuttled under the counter.
I can't have some slap and tickle with that.
Tropy yelled madly and ran to his room.
Slap and tickle? What kind of demented thing is that?
It's like a weird phrase for foreplay.
Slap and tickle?
Yeah, it's very British.
I've never heard it before. In the living chambers.
Hey, did you hear something?
Said Lacey. Yeah, kinda.
Said Cortex, cussing out Tropy for being so loud in the kitchen.
Oi, Tropy, don't be so loud. There's something under the counter. Said
Tropy from upstairs.
Oh, fine, very well, maybe it's Crash Bandicoot.
Said Cortex. He pressed a button and Pinstrip Potteroo came out of the wall and ran towards the kitchen like a football player. Imagine his confusion when it was a human-faced raccoon, lol.
At the bottom of Cortex Castle Tower,
it had started to rain. Sad music played in the background.
Crunch arrived at the graves of Crash and Coco, Aquaku burying them earlier, and clenched his fist and roared to the sky, I shall avenge you!
End of chapter 4. Did you seriously just kill off two of the main characters?
Yeah, apparently Crash and Coco are dead.
Yes.
Well, that concludes this for now.
Oh, God.
And that was awful.
Yes.
And it was our first time reading that all the way through as well.
Reviews 1.
Can we see this review? Please tell me this is a joke. Please. We hope so too.
Oh. Anyway, that was Crash at Christmas. Seriously,
who was
Christmas came up like once. xXlaceylovrrrawrdinosaurXx. I think we have a self-insert here, people.
Okay, well, have a happy Christmas and hope, dear God, hope we don't get any more chapters under the Christmas tree.
Bye-bye.